Are you aware that the first letter of your name has a deep meaning that tells a lot more about you than you might think? Buddhist teachings say that the first letter of your name can tell you a lot about your personality, your spiritual connections, and even the path you are meant to take. Doesn't it sound interesting? You will start to see your name in a whole new way once you figure out what this means. Think of your name as more than just a label your parents gave you. Imagine that it is a secret key to unlocking your true nature. Have you ever felt like your life goes through strange ups and downs, or that the same things keep happening over and over again? In fact, the first letter of your name may be connected to forces that shape who you are. We'll look at these deep connections and find out how Buddhism sees this unique part of your identity in this video. Now, let me ask you a question. How often have you missed the little things that make you unique? What if looking at the first letter of your name could help you understand more about what the universe has planned for you? This video isn't just for fun. It's meant to help you understand who you really are. Wait until the end, because I'm about to tell you something that could change how you see yourself and how you interact with other people. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. And we'd love to hear from you. What's the first letter of your name, and does this concept resonate with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. With your help, I can bring you even more powerful insights and life-changing thoughts. Are you ready to start? Press that button, and let's begin. Have you ever thought about how, in Buddhism, even the smallest things in your life are very important? There is a lot more to names than just words. Names are vibrations or unique energies that carry spiritual messages and affect our life's path. Your name's first letter is at the heart of this idea. It's a powerful symbol that can show you hidden parts of your personality, your life's purpose, and even the karmic lessons you're meant to learn. In Buddhism, people think that nothing happens by chance. Your name, especially the first letter, is part of a bigger plan and a reflection of the energies that surround you. The first letter shows how you feel inside and how other people react to you. Think of it as a way to start figuring out the patterns in your daily life. In this first part, we'll look at how Buddhist teachings see names as ways to learn more about yourself. You'll understand that your name wasn't picked at random. It has a deeper meaning that ties you to the universe and the cycles of your life. Get ready, because we're about to go on a journey to find out what the first letter of your name means. Each letter has its own vibration that affects different parts of your personality, the choices you make, and even how you interact with the world. Don't stop now. Watch as we explain what each letter of your name or nickname means and how they work together to create the energy you send out into the world. You have a great chance to learn more about who you are and how to use that information to make your life more in line with your true purpose. If your name starts with the letter R, you have a lively and restless energy. People with this initial want things to change and become different. This vibration stands for motion that never stops, like a river that flows all the time. Your energy is strong and often spreads to others, motivating them to grow and change. When it comes to personality, the letter R stands for drive, ambition, and creativity. People born with this initial have a strong will and can handle challenges with great strength, but because they are so hard on themselves, they can get angry quickly when things don't go as planned. If you don't keep this pressure in check, it can cause emotional stress. In a spiritual sense, the R stands for the need for balance. This means that people with this initial are called to learn how to go with the flow of life's cycles without fighting them. The hardest thing for them is to slow down, trust life's natural processes, and let go of the need to be in charge of everything. This lesson can make it easier for them to deal with the ups and downs of life. The energy of the letter S is one of wisdom and self-reflection. It feels mysterious and deep, which is in line with our natural desire to find out more about the world around us. People with this initial often have a strong intuition and can feel what will happen before it does. This sensitivity is what makes you unique, but it can also be a burden if you don't know how to handle it well. People whose names start with the letter S are calm and think things through. They naturally can see and understand things more deeply, but they might be shy or even secretive if they want to keep their feelings and thoughts to themselves. If they don't find a balance between being open and being private, this tendency can make them less close to other people. In a spiritual sense, the S stands for peace and karma. In Buddhism, these people are thought to have a strong sense of responsibility for their actions, which makes them want to live in harmony. The hardest thing for them is keeping their inner and outer lives in balance and learning how to share their knowledge without feeling open to being hurt. The letter A gives off a lively, action-oriented vibe. It stands for the strength of beginnings and is a sign of courage and leadership. People who start with this letter are often leaders in many areas of their lives. This energy is linked to the element of fire and represents passion, excitement, and the will to face problems head-on. The A shows that the person is confident, independent, and sure of themselves. These people are easy to look up to and are often seen as strong and creative examples. However, their independence can make them seem stubborn or bossy, especially when they think their ideas are not being taken seriously. In a spiritual sense, the A stands for rebirth and purpose. Buddhist teachings say that people with this initial are called to change the world around them and have a special work to do. The hardest thing for them is keeping their energy in a good place and staying away from things that aren't related to their higher purpose. The energy of the letter T is stable and in balance. It connects different parts of life in a way that works well. People with this initial are naturally good at putting things in order and finding solutions, even when things are out of control. People feel safe when they're around them because their vibration is soothing and friendly. People whose names start with the letter T are responsible, loyal, and have a strong sense of duty. They often put other people first and work hard to help their friends and family. They may forget about their own needs, though, because they have a tendency to sacrifice others. The T is spiritually linked to kindness and the path of Dharma. In Buddhism, it stands for the path to finding a balance between duty and love for oneself. The hardest thing for them is learning to say no when they need to and taking time to take care of themselves without feeling guilty. The letter M has a strong connection to the earth and is full of emotional energy. It stands for care, stability, and the search for emotional and material safety. People with this initial are usually protective and put a lot of value on their relationships with family and friends. Their energy is steady and warm, like a strong base when you need it. In terms of personality, people who start with the letter M naturally take charge and care for others. They are realistic and determined, and they focus on finding solutions instead of dwelling on issues. But if you give them too much responsibility, they might get stubborn or stressed out. In a spiritual sense, the M stands for the search for stability within. In Buddhism, it stands for the need to balance feelings and give and receive in a healthy way. Letting go of control and trusting others more is the hardest thing for them. This will help them find inner peace. The energy of freedom and expression is in the letter E. People with this initial often have a strong desire to learn, try new things, and talk to others. This active energy is linked to the wind, which stands for constant change and flexibility. They are able to connect with others in a special way and share their thoughts and experiences with great enthusiasm. If your name starts with E, you're likely to be curious, creative, and restless. They love to learn new things and look for adventures that make their hearts and minds feel alive. But this desire for new things can be a problem if they don't have a clear goal in mind. In a spiritual sense, the E stands for a link to the flow of life around us. In Buddhism, it stands for the wisdom to accept change and make the best of it. The hardest thing for them is to stop looking for the next big thing all the time and enjoy what they have. The letter L sends out a peaceful energy based on love and kindness. This initial makes people around them feel calm and peaceful, and they often become strong support systems for those around them. The L also stands for the search for balance and beauty, which shows a desire to live in harmony with the world. When it comes to personality, the L shows patience, kindness, and understanding. People look up to these people because they are kind and willing to help others. They can be too idealistic, though, which makes them open to disappointment. Spiritually, the L is linked to kindness and how we all depend on each other. In Buddhism, it stands for realizing that everything is linked. The hardest thing for them is balancing their need to take care of themselves with their desire to help others. The energy of the letter P is focused and introspective. People with this initial are often very thoughtful and always trying to figure out what things really mean. They are naturally smart and have a strong sense of discipline, which helps them reach big goals. The P shows that you are focused, pay attention to details, and have a clear vision. These people think things through carefully before they act because they want to avoid making mistakes. But this need to be in charge can be hard to deal with when bad things happen. From a spiritual point of view, the P stands for mindfulness and meditation. In Buddhism, it stands for the need to be at peace with yourself. Their biggest challenge is to accept that they aren't perfect and go with the flow of life. The energy of the letter G is curious and forward-looking, representing a constant desire to learn and see new things. People who start with this letter are always coming up with new ideas and love to explore new paths, both in the physical and spiritual worlds. Their energy is like a magnet, drawing opportunities and interesting people into their lives. People whose initial is G are pragmatic, creative, and good at analyzing things. They love to figure out how to solve problems and come up with new ways to deal with problems. They can, however, become perfectionists or unable to make up their minds when they are presented with too many choices or options at once. The G is spiritually linked to growth and enlightenment. In Buddhism, this letter represents a journey of never-ending learning and how important it is to grow wise throughout life. Their biggest challenge is to learn to enjoy the small steps forward they take on their spiritual path and not set too high of goals for themselves. There is a sense of completion and change around the letter Z. In Buddhism, it means the end of cycles and the start of new ones. This shows that experience is the only way to gain wisdom. People with this initial see a lot of things in life and can change themselves in interesting ways, even when things are hard. The Z sign shows that the person is wise, intuitive, and practical. Because they can see the big picture so well, these people are great at making important choices. People may sometimes find them distant or even cold, though, because they'd rather focus on what's important than get involved in small issues or distractions. Spiritually, the Z is linked to letting go and realizing that things change. It means being able to let go of the past and accept changes to move on. It's hard for them to keep this practical mindset in check while also showing empathy, so they don't come across as indifferent to other people's needs. The energy of the letter B is one of care and nurturing. People with this initial have a vibration that helps and protects others, which naturally makes the space around them peaceful. The B in Buddhism stands for compassion, which means that these people are naturally good at making peace and helping those in need. People whose first letter is B are kind, caring, and loyal. They care a lot about other people's well-being and relationships, which makes them great friends and partners. However, learning to set limits is hard for them because they often give up too much to please others and forget about their own needs. When looked at spiritually, the B represents the energy of balance and connection. Buddhists believe that this letter is a call to make the world peaceful and stable, beginning with oneself. The hardest thing for them is letting go of the need to be in charge and realizing that they can't always make everyone happy. The letter C is linked to creativity and talking to others. People born with this initial have a wide-ranging and captivating energy that makes them naturally attractive and lively. People with this energy are very good at finding new ways to connect people, ideas, and solutions, which makes them very valuable in social situations. People who start with the letter C are outgoing, charismatic, and expressive. People who are like this love talking to others and sharing their thoughts, but outside expectations or the need to please others can quickly make them feel overwhelmed. This behavior could cause anxiety or too much criticism of oneself. The letter C has a spiritual link to the Buddhist idea of impermanence, which means that life is always changing. These people are told to find a balance between sharing their thoughts and paying close attention to what others have to say. Finding times of silence and reflection to balance their outgoing personalities is the hardest thing for them. The energy of the letter D is practical and disciplined. People born with this initial are stable and determined, and those around them often see them as strong towers. In Buddhism, the letter D stands for dedication to the spiritual path, which means that these people have a long-term mission to complete. People whose names start with D are determined, dependable, and have a lot of work ethic. That being said, they are naturally good at leading and getting things done, but they can be rigid or stubborn at times. This could make it harder for them to deal with changes or setbacks that come up out of the blue. Spiritually, the D stands for hard work and a desire to keep improving. In Buddhism, these people are told that the spiritual path is made up of small steps taken every day, not big jumps. Their biggest challenge is to learn how to easily deal with things that don't go as planned and not get too stuck on a fixed idea of what success looks like. The letter F has a loving and peaceful energy that comes from it. People with this letter have a strong sense of what is right and what is good for others, and they are always trying to make things fair for everyone. Being of service to others and making real connections are linked to this energy. As for personality, people whose first letter is F are sensitive, kind, and loyal. They are unique in their ability to understand how others feel and calmly settle disagreements. On the other hand, they are easily hurt because they have high expectations for relationships and take in bad vibes. In a spiritual sense, the F stands for the act of loving others with compassion. In Buddhism, these people are told to keep their kindness in check by setting healthy limits so they don't get emotionally worn out. The hardest thing for them is letting go of the need for approval from other people and acting from a pure, honest place. The energy of the letter H is balance and self-mastery. People who start with this letter are usually quiet, well-organized, and determined to get what they want. This energy gives off a calm but strong vibration that helps them get past problems smartly and quickly. People whose last name starts with the letter H are practical, focused, and disciplined. They are great at organizing and planning, but they might find it hard to show how they feel, which could make them seem cold or distant. Some people may be turned off by this behavior, even though the H doesn't mean to. In a spiritual sense, the H stands for the search for inner harmony. It stands for the balance between action and thought in Buddhism, showing that success in the outside world is only truly satisfying when it is in line with inner peace. Their biggest challenge is making room for being vulnerable and letting other people emotionally connect with them. The letter K has a buzzing energy that is bold and new. People who start with this letter often have big goals and want to change the world. K has a strong and independent vibration, which stands for the courage to face the unknown and go after things that seem impossible. The people whose names start with the letter K are visionary, intuitive, and brave. They come up with new ideas and can see things that other people can't. People may think they are impatient or rash, especially when they think things aren't moving along as quickly as they'd like. The K has a spiritual link to the Buddhist idea of right effort, which means putting your energy into things that really matter. Their biggest challenge is to make sure they don't take on too many tasks at once and to learn how to prioritize the battles that are worth fighting while staying focused on their main goal. The letter N has lively and flexible energy. People who have this initial are known for being flexible and easy to work with changes. This energy stands for creativity and a spirit that is always looking for new things and new ways to do things. Personality-wise, people whose first letter is N are interested, independent, and full of ideas. They think about life in a practical way, but they also have a dreamy side that makes them want to try new things. They may, however, find it hard to finish projects because they often change their minds or lose interest before finishing what they started. In a spiritual sense, the N is linked to the Buddhist idea of flow, which means being able to accept that things change and live in the present. Finding a purpose that keeps them grounded even when things are changing is the hardest thing for them because they want to explore but also need to feel safe. The letter O has the energy of completeness and honesty. People who start with this letter have a strong sense of purpose and want to find balance and meaning in everything they do. This energy is linked to the idea of full cycles, which means that these people are great at finishing what they start. The O signifies a person who is reliable, organized, and focused on getting things done. They naturally know how to solve problems and come up with useful solutions, but their ideas can be a bit rigid or reserved. Sometimes this makes it hard for them to change their minds when they need to give up on their plans. In a spiritual sense, the O stands for unity with all things, which is similar to the Buddhist idea of interdependence. People in this group are told to see the world as a whole and use their energy to make the world a better place. The hardest thing for them is accepting that the unexpected is a normal part of life. The letter Q has its own special energy that makes you think deeply about yourself. People with this initial are often analytical and want to know why things happen the way they do. This energy shows that you want to learn new things and live your life in a unique way, often by thinking outside the box. When it comes to personality, the Q stands for someone who is independent, creative, and asks questions. They like coming up with new ways to solve problems, but others might find their way of doing things odd or hard to understand. Their focus on themselves can sometimes keep them from making friends. In a spiritual sense, the Q stands for the practice of wisdom. In Buddhism, it stands for how important it is to look deeper into things than what meets the eye. Their biggest challenge is to keep from having doubts all the time and to trust their gut and life's natural flow. There is a warm and uplifting energy in the letter U. In a special way, people with this initial can connect with others on an emotional level and push others to reach their full potential. Their energy flows like water, easily changing with the times and going in unexpected directions. When it comes to personality, the U shows that the person is caring, positive, and strong. People in this group can look on the bright side of things and keep their cool, even when things are crazy. But they might be too trusting or idealistic, which makes them open to being let down. The U is spiritually linked to the idea of unity. It's a sign of connection with the world and the people in it in Buddhism. It's hardest for them to find a balance between taking care of themselves and helping others so they don't get emotionally worn out. The mysterious and magnetic energy of the letter X is strong. People with this initial have a strange and interesting vibration that makes them stand out. This energy comes from a spirit that is always looking for new things and ways to change. People whose first letter is X are brave, intuition-driven, and determined. They aren't afraid to try new things and are often the first people to do things in their fields of interest. People may see them as unpredictable or impulsive, especially when they do what comes naturally to them without thinking about what might happen. In a spiritual sense, the X stands for change and renewal. In Buddhism, it stands for the chance to get past problems and see things clearly. Finding a balance between their need for adventure and stability is their biggest challenge. They also have to make sure that the choices they make are in line with their higher purpose. The letter Y has an energy that is both introspective and dualistic. People with this initial are very self-critical and always look for a balance between different options and paths. This energy shows that you have a mind that is always thinking about the pros and cons of things. When it comes to personality, the Y stands for someone who is careful, thoughtful, and strategic. These people like things to be clear and make sense, but they may find it hard to act quickly because they like to think about all the possibilities. This can make it hard to decide what to do. In a spiritual sense, the Y represents the search for meaning and clarity. It has something to do with meditation and being able to find inner peace in Buddhism. Their hardest task is to stop thinking too much and put more faith in life's natural flow, understanding that not every choice has to be perfect. The letter I has a clear and focused energy that comes from it. People with this initial have a direct and objective vibration, which is often a sign that they want to find the truth and keep things simple in their lives. This energy is linked to light and understanding, which means you can naturally see past what you see. As far as personality goes, people whose first letter is I are organized, analytical, and determined. It's easy for them to focus, and they tend to be very picky about everything they do. But their desire for perfection can be a problem because it can make them harsh on themselves or make it hard for them to relax when things aren't going as planned. On a spiritual level, the I stands for light and awareness. In Buddhism, this letter is a way to get wise and learn about yourself. It asks these people to find a balance between their mind and their heart. Is it hard for them to let go of control and accept that things don't always have to go as planned? The energy of initiative and adventure is carried by the letter J. People with this initial often have a brave and positive spirit that pushes them to try new things and accept change. They don't seem afraid to stand out or make their way because this energy shows confidence and determination. If your personality type is J, you are likely to be outgoing, brave, and driven. These people are born to lead and are great at getting other people excited and motivated. However, they might not be patient and might take on more than they can handle, which could cause them stress. In a spiritual sense, the J stands for faith. In Buddhism, it stands for trusting that life will work out, even when things are uncertain. Their biggest challenge is to make sure that their actions are in line with their higher purpose by balancing their impulsive energy with times of reflection. The letter W has the energy of movement and flexibility. People who start with this letter are dynamic and flexible, and they are very good at handling tough situations. People with this energy are always wanting to learn new things and explore new places. They also want to grow as people. The W signifies a person who is open to new experiences, interested in other people, and friendly. They are good at connecting with others and getting them excited. But because they need to be stimulated all the time, they may come across as impulsive or scattered. One big challenge for them is to stay focused. In a spiritual sense, the W stands for change. Buddhism stresses that things change all the time. The people in this group are told to find stability in movement and learn to enjoy both rest and action. They are having the most trouble accepting that they don't have to explore every path at the same time. The energy of the first letter of your name is like a business card. It changes the way you interact with the people and things around you, affecting your personal, professional, and spiritual relationships. In Buddhism, each vibration is seen as a manifestation of what you project and attract, and the first letter of your name is very important. Learning about this energy can help you become more self-aware and make your life more in line with your true purpose. Thanks for reading all the way through this reflection. If you liked learning about what the first letter of your name means, please share this video and come back for more self-discovery and personal growth tips. We'll see you on the next adventure.